Okay, good day everyone.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back to the Weekly SEO show. Here is the place where we are sharing our weekly SEO experiences, quick tips, tricks, and some news. And today is an excited day for us because we invited a special guest to the show. John Locke is with us. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation, John.
Thank you for inviting me.
The pleasure is all mine. So, okay, how is going on? What are you doing?
Well, I am doing well. I just got up on the California Central Valley here in Sacramento, California. So I'm waking up early to be with your team and hopefully share some SEO tips that everybody can get some value from.
Definitely, they will do. All right. So, by the way, how is going in California's capital, Sacramento?
Oh, it's great. I love it here. It's a good city. It's a mid-sized city, not as big as LA, not small either. Nice mid-sized city. You can find all kinds of great restaurants, nightlife, lots of great neighborhoods to live in, lots of parks. So awesome place to be.
Nice.
Maybe the best question is like, how is Corona situation there?
Oh God.
Nowadays that's the best question for us.
Yeah. So what? How is the what? The
COVID
Yeah,
situation.
COVID. Yeah, so a lot of people, like pretty much everything, everyone over 16 can get their shot now. So a lot of people are getting vaccinated. I know a lot of people that are already on their second shot. So yeah, the vaccination is going pretty good here. There's lots of places where you can schedule online very easily. So that's moving forward fantastically.
That's great. So almost all of you have a green passport, right?
Already. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great. I know there you have very beautiful architectures with a Spanish look. It's because of a Sacramento name, right? Because I don't know. I just saw in the images like a lot of Spanish look architectures.
Yeah, there is a lot of remnants of that era here. One of the landmarks here is Sutter's Fort in Midtown. So there are a lot of different things like that in the city.
Right. So we have a lot of people here. Carol, Shaheen, Zumeye, hello everyone. Marina, Neslihan. All right, so I'm gonna share the screen. And here is it. Let me open the full screen. And yes, here is it. So John, let's start with a basic question. Who is John Locke?
Well, John Locke is a person who I started doing web design about 10 or 11 years ago. It was the second career for me. I made a career switch. About 4 years ago, I started focusing almost entirely on SEO. And since then, in that time, in the last 10 years or so, I've helped dozens and dozens, scores of clients all over the country, a couple internationally, but having a lot of success with people that are manufacturing companies, contractors, some other local SEO clients as well in various markets in the US.
Right. I know you have like almost 800 videos on YouTube. So I want to ask you a long tail question.
Okay.
What inspires you to do that kind of videos? Because there you have a lot of competition with SEO agencies,
Yeah.
and not all of them is doing the same thing, because you are doing like every day or every week, and you're doing almost 6 years or 7 years just on YouTube. So what inspires you to do that?
Well, a lot of people are on YouTube. Video is very easy to watch. It's low friction. And quite honestly, I get business from videos. I have a couple clients on my roster now that both watched videos that had a very low view count. But I get people that watch the videos, and some turn into clients. Some are just people that ask questions, but it helps them. But some become clients. And I really believe that no matter if there's tons of agencies or there's tons of consultants already doing videos, it's important for everybody to also do that, because you might resonate with somebody, and those different types of voices are going to resonate with different people. So you're always going to have an audience. Might not be the biggest, might not be the smallest, but it's going to resonate with a certain segment of people, and they're going to identify with what you say, and they're going to like the way that you present the information.
Yeah, that's so true, John. Because we also doing the videos, and we have a low views count on YouTube, but we do that because we have an inspiration. We do that passionately because we do SEO for a long time, long years. And here is another question. It's his final question about the introduction. How did you get into SEO?
So I was building sites for friends of mine, like early on, and I had some hobby sites as well. And I did a little bit of SEO way back when I was just focusing on web design and web development, but I was actually pretty good at it. And so it was about 5 or 6 years ago. I was doing a lot of white labeling for other agencies. I was doing a lot of development for larger agencies, but I was very unhappy with the way that the sites would perform after they would relaunch. Like, I saw that there was a gap in their, other people's clients. They were not getting organic traffic afterwards. And I realized that this was a gap that I could help people with. So I stopped doing the white labeling for other agencies, and I started focusing on SEO. And since then, I've learned even more about SEO, and I've been able to help a lot more people. I've been able to grow some of my clients' businesses from small to large, and it's very exciting to see that, because the work that you do in SEO, the work that your team does, and any SEO agency that's out there doing a good job, it has a big impact on a lot of people. The business owners and all the employees benefit from that. So it's a very important work.
Definitely. All right. So let's introduce ourselves. My name is Roman Damita. As a director of SEO at Boostras, I am leading and encouraging the team. It's Adem and Bishra.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
So, do you want me to have the long introduction?
The short one or the long one?
Hi, everyone. I'm Bishra, and I'm the Senior SEO Executive of Boostras, and I'm a part-time content marketer of Boostras.
Hello, everyone, again. I'm Adam. Now I am with you as a SEO executive. So
Right.
our punch is here.
Fist bump. Yep. So let's get started then. What we'll cover today in this live stream. John.
Yes. So some of the things that we're going to cover in today's presentation are best practices for local SEO. What things should you be following? We're going to look at Google My Business optimization. What should you be doing to your Google My Business profile? Local third-party site profiles and business categories, the citations and third-party sites that you should be on in order to improve your rankings. We're going to be looking at getting the right content on your site. We're also going to be looking at search intent, looking at the search results and being able to determine what customers are looking for. We're also going to be looking at the homepage, like the content analysis of what should be there, services pages, what content should be on those as far as, and also titles and descriptions. We're going to be looking at what Google looks at as far as looking like a big brand, why that's important, why they want to rank big brands, what are the characteristics of a brand that Google wants to rank higher. We're also going to be looking at building a robust link profile, link prospecting, local links, and beyond. Page experience and page speed, which is, as most of you know, is rolling out in May. What are the most important things that you should be doing there? Using Schema Data for possible SERP features, search engine results pages features, and how to keep people from bouncing from your website.
Great, amazing. So you are gonna fire this webinar. I am pretty sure about this. And Tugay just said it is free. All right, the webinar is free, yeah. And in our site, we will go through how to keep people from bouncing your website. All right, let's get started then with John.
All right. So best practices for SEO, it's not terribly different from general SEO, but there are some things that you need to pay particular attention to because Google is looking to give people specific information as far as that. There are a couple nuances that are a little bit different. I don't know if you can go to the Google My Business slide.
Sure.
Okay. All right. One of the things that people always ask when it comes to a Google My Business is, how do I get in the map? The biggest thing that you need to realize about Google Maps is it really is it's a driving app. They usually are going to rank in the map the businesses that are closest to the city center. If you're trying to rank for a city that is not where your office location is, but of the ones that are in that city, there are things that you need to do. You need to have the right business categories for your business. And what I mean by that is if you're searching your competitors, if you're searching for something like SEO, or if you're searching for heating and cooling repair or something like that, you need to have the right business categories on your Google My Business, as well as third-party sites. Look at what is ranking high in the map, and those are the business categories that you should have for your Google My Business. You also need to try and get keywords in reviews. If your customers put keywords in reviews, then that means that's a signal to Google that that is what your business is about. Those seem to do better, those businesses that have the keywords in reviews, as they do on third-party sites as well. So if there's a way that you can get people to write reviews, obviously you also want to get high review scores. Google doesn't want to send people to a business that have a poor review score. So the closer that you can get to 5.0, the better. If you can get over 4 stars, that's probably good. But if you're a 3-star company, that's not going to be good for your business or your ranking. Especially if you have a lot of reviews and you have something like a 2.5 or a 3.0, then that's something that you need to work on and try and figure out how to get some better reviews from your customer base. The other thing, another thing that you want to have is a local number. The area code for your business should be a local number. That's very important for your Google My Business listing. One other thing too, like on your website, you want to have that number on your website. And in most cases where you're trying to rank in a local market, you would want to have that in the header of your site. Businesses that, as we said, that rank, that are located near the city center tend to do pretty good. And you want to link to your different location pages. If you have different locations, if you're a multi-location business, if you have more than one office, then you want to have a separate Google My Business for each of those. And those should have their own dedicated location pages on your website, and that should be the website link on your Google. When it comes to third-party sites, in the 7th slide, Google is looking to see you on key sites. Now, I'm not familiar if this is in Turkey or if this is in Europe like this, but I know in America and in Canada, in any local SEO situation, Google expects to see you on Yelp. They expect to see your profile on Yelp. And in the US, they also expect to see you on yellowpages.com. Those are 2 data aggregators that you absolutely must be on in order to maximize your rank in local search. You also want to be on any of the other data aggregators that are in your country. Now, in the United States, there are different services that can do this for you, like Moz Local, which I believe is white labeling Uberall as the service. You can use something like Yext. What I am using these days is White Spark's citation building service. I've used Bright Local's citation building service in the past, but you want to have those secondary profiles with the correct business categories. One very important thing with the third-party sites is Google wants to rank brands that are trying to do lead generation in places they expect to see it. So in the United States market, and I'll give a couple examples here, but if you're a home services contractor. They expect to see you with a profile on Home Advisor, a profile on House, a profile on Angie's List, and in some cases on Thumbtack, or the Blue Book site. If you're a real estate agent, they expect to see you have a profile on Trulia, Realtor.com. If you were to be a lawyer, they would expect to see your profile on Avo. In addition to that, you're going to want to get local links. So any types of sponsorships, Chamber of Commerce, any types of write-ups in the local news websites, those things are all going to help you when it comes to your link profile. Industry, specific sites, and local sites.
Yeah. John, do you
Yes.
think that population and I don't know how to say, or competition, it's a ranking factor for Google Maps? Like, I am living in Moldova, and here we don't have like a lot of restaurants in Google Maps. But when I'm searching for a restaurant locally, like for example, meat restaurant or meal restaurant or something like lunch restaurant or something like that, I just see 5 restaurants which don't have any ratings, any reviews. So how did they get there if they don't have any reviews in there?
Excellent question. I've heard people ask that before. It's not about the reviews. And one thing that's very important is Google is going to show in the map a location that you can drive to or commute to, bike to, walk to, take a bus toward there. It's a transportation app. It's not a app where Google Maps is saying these are the best restaurants or these are the best services. It's like these are ones that are convenient for you to drive to. Now, why they do this? I mean, my theory is they're getting some of that information and using it for traffic reports and maybe other things. They're measuring through Google Apps like how people, interact with their community. I do know that they use the Google Maps information, like the live information, like in your phone, to, figure out what the traffic is like, and then feed that back into that. But yeah, you can have no reviews. You can be in Google Maps. I've noticed recently that they seem to be pushing new businesses in Maps. I've seen that a lot, where they will just pick random ones. They don't have reviews. Maybe they don't have a lot of links. Maybe their website is not that good. But the Maps is completely different, a completely different algorithm from the regular search. So it's definitely, don't think of it as like these are the best. It's just ones that are close.
Great perspective, John. Shall we go through the next slide?
Yeah, we're up to having the right site content. Okay, so one thing that I do when I'm looking at local SEO or any type of SEO is each type of page that you're trying to rank for a particular like keyword set. Most of the time, the home page is going to have a lot of strength because it has a lot of link authority. But you have these, separate service pages, or maybe you have different location pages where you're trying to rank. Google's ranking algorithm, it looks at a pattern of what's worked in the past. And it doesn't mean just for your city or your region, but it looks at the overall pattern of what has worked before. So for different industries, it might be a little bit different, but in a lot of ones that I see, it'll be a pattern similar to this. They'll want to see the phone number up near the top. Maybe there's a big hero image. There'll be a contact form somewhere up near the top. Maybe it'll be near the top of the fold. And there might be different descriptions of what the service is, and different sections on that page that break down different things, such as, here's our process. Here's the different services we do. Now, each type of category, it might be slightly different what appears there. But what I do is look at the actual search, what's ranking near the top, and I will make notes from the top 10 to 15 results. I'll throw out like aggregate sites like Yelp, but I'll look at the actual businesses and make notes of, okay, so out of the top 10, maybe 7 of these had Google Maps embedded, or maybe 9 out of 10 had a contact form on this page, or maybe 7 out of 10 talked about this particular service that they offer. So that gives me a clue. So once I compile that list, I know that, these types of particular pages on the site must have this, because this is what Google has seen work in the past, and it's satisfied users in the past. So that applies to local SEO. So if you are not ranking right now, it could be that your particular page doesn't fit the pattern of what Google is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of goes into the next slide, slide 9, like search intent. So,
sorry, by the way,
yeah, go ahead.
See the slides? Is there any problem with slides?
Actually, we are in the search intent slide, right, John? You're trying to say that? Yeah. Okay.
I'm looking at it in the Google Docs right now.
So,
yeah.
Oh, here is it.
Okay. But with search intent, like I was just describing, I look at the actual search engine results pages, kind of make a list of what seems to be working. I might even look at other cities and get a list from that as well. But with search intent, it's another thing, and this applies to general SEO, but it also applies to local SEO. One thing that I write down for each keyword that I'm looking at, or each keyword set, is what are people actually trying to accomplish? What is their end goal with this search? And the idea is you want to get them to that goal. So if their goal is to book an appointment or have a service call or get more information, whatever it is, you got to bring them to that goal. Now, in other types of SEO, not just local SEO, it might be something like buy a product. Mm-hmm. It might be that all the results on page 1, the most of them might be e-commerce. But in a lot of cases, when we're talking about local SEO, it's some type of service that's being provided. So it's trying to deduce what the end goal is that people are trying to get to, and then making sure that they can complete that task on that page. So on slide 10, when we're talking about homepage content, that page usually has the most link authority. The most links are going to be coming to your homepage. So your main keyword that is going to bring you the most traffic, or the main keyword that you're trying to rank for, if you're a local business, save that one for your homepage. So for example, if let's say that you're in Los Angeles, and maybe your business is home remodeling or bathroom remodeling, but you also serve all the cities around Los Angeles, like Santa Barbara, Anaheim, all those different areas. The homepage should be Los Angeles bathroom remodeling, and then you could have other pages around that. That homepage is going to have the most authority. In a lot of cases, your homepage might resemble some of these location pages or service pages, because it's going to have a robust amount of content. It's going to have a long amount of content, but you would want to treat it the same way. It might also have some other things on there, such as reviews from customers or customer testimonials. It might have things like videos or your latest blog posts, but make sure that it has at least the minimum amount of the content that you see other pages ranking with. Okay, when we're talking about services pages, this is slide 11. It's the same type of thing. When you figure out what the pattern is that Google is looking for when it comes to the content of that page, you can template it out. What I like to do with a lot of these local service pages, in no matter what it is have a photo of some type of local landmark for that city or that service or that particular service of what you're doing. Have the right content that you've determined needs to be on that page. Have some sort of contact form, preferably near the top of the page. And a very important thing, the title tag of that page should have the service that you're providing. And then if you're targeting a specific city, have that city in there. Have keywords in your description. I know that Google has said that they do not use keywords in the description, but it can influence people to click on your result. So that is something that you should pay attention to. That brings me into, yeah, go ahead.
Here's a question. While we're talking about like websites, you know
Yes.
that My Business have very simple templates for creating a website that is based on their local. So do you think Google treats in the same way, like equal to a normal website, for example, for Shopify website versus Google My Business simple template?
Okay, that's a great question. So as far as like the underlying software that makes the site, Google doesn't have a preference for whether it's Shopify or WordPress or, Wix. As long as it has the right information on there, as long as it's mobile friendly, it has a good page speed score, and it has a robust amount of links, you can rank with it. Now, what I have found, though, is design really makes a difference. So if the site looks good, it's going to make a difference. And the reason why I have noticed that I believe that this has happened, especially in the last about 2 years, is they have said before that they do not use Google Analytics at all. I think John Mueller even said this yesterday on Twitter, yet again, for about the 10th time. They do not use Google Analytics for ranking. But what might they use is some of the other products that they've developed to get data. So I have really noticed over the last couple of years that well-designed sites that look like there's been some effort put into them, like in the EAT as well. One of the things that's in expertise is was a lot of skill and effort put into the creation of this site. Well-designed sites with the right content and a decent amount of links are going to do better than something that a business owner does themselves, like a DIY.
Mhm.
So,
John, what I know is none of Google Analytics metrics is SEO ranking factor. I don't know who say that, but I remember one of Google's say that in a conference very long time ago. None of the Google Analytics metrics is not like SEO
no,
ranking.
that's for us. That's
Yeah,
for the website owner. But
that's
they must have a different means of measuring it, because not every website has Google Analytics. Half of the websites that exist in the world do not have Google Analytics installed. So you cannot just leave out that half of the internet. You have to be able to measure all of it. So
Yeah.
there's another means. Yeah.
That's so logic, by the way.
Yeah. So that's a great point. That brings me to looking like a large brand. Now, this is something that they've been trying to achieve for the last 13 years, is to rank brands. In 2008, the then CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, said to a large hall of advertisers that brands are not the problem, brands are the solution. They help weed out the cesspool. They want to rank big brands like the New York Times or AT&T or CNN, whatever it is. It's a big, well-known entity. That's what they want to rank. They don't want to rank the random WordPress blog over here, the little mom and pop shop website. So there's things that you have to do to look like a big brand. What are characteristics of a big brand that Google could measure no matter what without spending a lot of effort? Well, some of the things that big brands do is they look for customers in many different channels. Big brands have claimed all of their social media profiles on all the major places like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, and they have a LinkedIn company page. They do things like this. Big brands have a privacy policy page. They might post jobs on their website, job listings, or they might post listings for jobs on other websites like Indeed or Monster or whatever it is. They also publish content because they're trying to win customers through content marketing. They're trying to win customers through social channels. They're trying to win customers through video. Big brands are mentioned and referenced by other websites as well, because they're doing things like that. They might be doing things, philanthropy in their local area. These are all things that a big brand might do. So it's just food for thought. These are all things that you should probably be doing, even if you're a small brand. Don't just claim your Facebook page and then have no other social media. Don't just throw up your 10-page website and then not do any content marketing at all. Because Google is looking for very specific things that are hallmarks and characteristics of large brands. And if you're trying to grow to that level, then it's going to be able to measure certain things very easily.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Here's the next one.
Yep. So the link profile. Links are very important. They're always going to be important. They are a characteristic of a page that should rank. Now, links that you buy or links that are easily obtained are not as valuable as links, say, for example, that you get through press coverage or something like that. The easier the link is to get, the less valuable it is. If anybody can get that link, it's not as valuable. So in the same way that Google looks at the pattern of content on your website, Google is looking at the pattern of your link profile. And one of the things that I do is look at the link gap of a site that I'm trying to bring up versus their competition.
Mhm.
So I use Ahrefs, their link gap tool, or their link intersect tool, their link gap tool is very helpful. So you can put in your client site, and then you can put in your competitor sites, and you will notice that certain sites that rank near the top of the search results will have links in common. That's a sign that you need to have a link from that site or something similar to that as well. If all your competitors that are outranking you have certain links, types of links, then that's something that you need to go for as well. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of links, you're not going to rank as well. Generally speaking, the more links that you have from more domains over time, maintaining like a steady link velocity, the better, the more natural it's going to look, the better it's going to look. You can't just like have a big spike of links and then have it like flatten out. You want to be getting steadily links over time because that looks normal. It looks natural. It looks like you're trying to grow your brand. So those are all things to consider within your link profile.
Mhm.
Okay, so this thing that's happening in May with the page speed and web core vitals, everybody is talking about this. It's a big talking point right now. Google representatives have said that if you get these three things in the green, you might get a little boost. I still believe that the content and the links are going to be more important than the page experience, because you could have a fast site, but if it's not getting people to the goal that they're trying to complete, that's not important. But if you get the largest contentful paint, which is the biggest element, or the element that takes up the most of the screen when you first open the browser, if you get that in the green on mobile and desktop, that's great. I mean, in most people, you're going to want to go mobile because they are doing mobile first indexing. The first input delay, so being on a good host, making sure that you're not blocking any critical rendering stuff. If you can defer scripts, if you can inline critical CSS, that will help with first input delay. And then the cumulative layout shift. Now, this is something that I'm actually going back through a lot of my client sites and trying to deal with this. When you put a site into Page Speed Insights, you'll see like these little screenshots of the page as it renders. And if you look at those like really close, you got to kind of zoom in your screen to see it, but it'll give you clues about what's happening in that browser window when you first open the page, and it will show you if you're in the orange or in the red when it comes to cumulative layout shift. There might be things that are happening in your as the page renders that need to be fixed. What I seem to have noticed before this rollout happens in May, that just what I've personally noticed, is that pages that seem to have the cumulative layout shift in the green, meaning there's not a lot of shifting going around as the fonts load or as the elements of the page load, those pages seem to be doing a little bit better in search than ones that are in the orange or red. That might be anecdotal. I don't have a big enough sample set to say definitively that that is the truth, but the biggest thing that you can do is reanalyze how your pages are rendering, like in those first few seconds when it's first loading. What are things that you can do to make it load faster? What are ways that you can make the page not jump around the elements, any elements, whether it's text, whether it's images or any other divs on that page? How can you make them be in the same place from the time that the page starts rendering until the page is fully rendered? Those are all things that you could work on, and decrease your image sizes, use WebP when you can. Those are all things that I would recommend doing.
Great tips, John. I'm going to ask you a question about that. You know that in Ahrefs, there is a tool where we can find out like some websites which is linked to your social profile, but not to your website. In our case, we can find out that websites that link to the our website, but not to the local business. So do you think that it's important to have backlinks to your local business profile?
Like to your GMB, like your Google My Business?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would say that it's more important to have links to your website. I think of like the Google My Business is essentially your knowledge graph, like what they know about your local business. It's essentially a visual representation of the knowledge graph for that business. I don't know of any instances, and I've never heard anybody tell me, like other colleagues, say like, yeah, link to the Google My Business and it's going to help that boost up. So my thought would be that you would want to get those links to your website instead.
Great. Yes, sir. By the way, we have another question from Kadar. I'm not sure if you have experience regarding Yandex, because it's a Russian search engine and a lot of Russians is using that, but Americans or European countries is not using. So Kadar is asking, everyone make optimization according to Google's algorithm, all rules. What about Bing and Yandex if I want to raise position in Bing organic search results? What do you think of this?
Great question. So, so in Russia, in Eastern Europe, in your guys' area, in Turkey, I know that Yandex is super big. I don't know what their algorithm in particular is using, because most of my clients are not from that area. So I can't speak directly to that. I don't know if things that worked in Google 5 or 10 years ago work in Yandex today. I will speak to Bing because at least in the US, the market share for Bing is not that big. It's less than 10%. It's maybe like 7%. So it's not, and the results are not that great. Like they're just not. So it's not something I pay a lot of attention to. I'll make sure that they have a Bing Places in the map, but I won't spend a lot of time worrying about that because, I mean, at least in my opinion, the stuff that worked in Google 5 or 6 years ago is kind of like where Bing is now. And I can't speak to Yandex because I don't do that. You guys might be able to speak on that.
Actually, we don't use Yandex in Moldova. We use like Google a lot. In Turkey, I guess Google is the major search engine.
Yeah.
And we don't have experience too. But Büşra wants to say something.
For the websites, I follow just their traffic sources. Or most of the times, 96 or 97% of the organic traffic comes from Google. It's Yandex is like 3 or 4% per website. For many websites, I just checked because I wondered someday, and I checked all of the analytics accounts.
Yeah, nowadays Yandex is not popular because the old times like Yandex had some sponsorships, etc. It was kind of popular, but now they don't have market share in Turkey also. So actually, John, I have a question also about page experience. You know, we are always focusing on like mobile sites, you know, because Google is focusing on the mobile field data. So can we say that our mobile score and our mobile data is more and more essential in the local SEO? Because you know the usage of mobile must be more in local SEO. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I 100% agree that you should be everybody should be focusing on mobile, and especially in local SEO. Just for the fact that Google has already announced that they're, you know, in the midst of completing a mobile first indexing rollout. So whatever your speed scores are for mobile, that's what's going to be used to gauge your ranking. Like any effect that your page speed insights would have would be for mobile primarily. I know that there's, you know, probably some exceptions to that. Like there's some businesses that get, especially like some of the people on my client roster, like more like the manufacturing types of businesses. It tends to be the majority of the traffic still comes from desktop. But if you can make the experience good on mobile, and the page load fast on mobile, that's usually going to help the desktop as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
All right. So did you finish that slide, by the way?
There's one. There's one last slide. The last slide was talking about the Schema Data. So that definitely is a way that you can give Google a little bit of extra information about your website, and however you implement that, whether you use a SEO plugin or module, or whether you your CMS is outputting that for you, it could be helpful. In local SEO, the bare minimum that you would want to have is local business schema markup with your social profiles linked to that, your organization schema. But I've also had a lot of success with other local clients where they have events scheduled, that if you put event schema data in there on the appropriate pages, that can display in the search engine results. And FAQ pages, that is another example of rich snippets that can display in the search results. So any type of schema data that you can practically use where it is displayed on the front facing part of the site to the regular users, that's something that I would encourage you to do. I know with lots of SEO modules and plugins, it's very easy to display organization data and local business schema data. But definitely look at some of the other types of schema that might be used for that. I know some people will ask about aggregate reviews and star ratings in the regular search engine results, not in the Google My Business, but in the regular search results. Google has said that they are taking out, they said this a while ago, that they're taking out any embedded review ratings or any hard-coded ones. I still see them occasionally in search results, though I see it a lot less. They've gotten rid of a lot of it, though I still see it. But I think a lot of people were manipulating it in a way to, so that's why they got rid of it, is a lot of people were definitely manipulating it. Just giving themselves like 100 5-star reviews and putting it in Schema on the page. So,
but Google understands it, I guess, because Schema.org, it's actually Google's product. It's Google support. Google support is product. So I guess Google understands very well the websites that it's trying to manipulate Google bots or the search results. And that's it. Yeah, it's data. It's something which you like enter in your code, right? So it's GSI, LG. Google will understand it anyway.
By the way, they also announced a product review algorithm update, a small update last week, I guess, but I'm not sure, 100% sure how will Google evaluate product reviews in that matter semantically, because there are false reviews, there are false 5 stars. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that as far as some of the features that have been displayed, they've cut back on those in search results recently. They're not displaying as many rich results as they were. But it's a thing where they do what they want and kind of everybody just does the best they can, but there's no guarantee because they change stuff whenever they feel like it. So
yeah, John, thank you very much for your contributions. Really appreciate your tips, because there is a lot of things that we can learn from local SEO, and you just did a great thing to explain all these important things. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
This presentation was brilliant. Thank you. I just learned a lot of things from here.
Well, anything to help.
Great. So let's get started in our site. What do we have? In our site, we have how to keep people from bouncing your website. And in my slides, I will go through e-commerce websites specifically. First things to do in your product page is to make sure you have call to actions, text, buttons, or something colored like this one. For example, it's a small text, but it's delivery estimate when you will deliver that product to the client. They must know that, because maybe you are not Amazon, they don't know you, but they want to trust you. So that is one way to trust you. Give them delivery estimate, maybe 1 day, 2 days, or if they are not in America, they are in Canada or I don't know, San Francisco, give them specific days, like maybe 10 days, I don't know. It's a call to action. Or for example, free delivery in pickup point from X dollars, or free return in 14 days, or something like check package before payment. After that, a long description about the product. And then I think it's a third-party tool which they use. Like they say, take advantage of the Black Friday spring discounts. It's something like call to action, but they are trying to manipulate people, because not all of them know that it's something like to buy it in a fast way. They are trying to sell products really fast. They are trying to show that the product have discount or something like that. So it's an e-commerce deal, but it's a great call to action for your users. All right, so if you don't have time to create product descriptions or call to actions on your web pages of your products, there is a lot of products that you can use, tools like Copy.ai or WordTune. You just need to write a title or a short description. And for example, Copy.ai will give you a long story. For example, here I just wanted to get a context for a description, which is this lifting workstations turns in any desk into an ergonomic sit-stand station, for example. And then Copy.ai gives me a lot and really great descriptions for my website. I'm just amazed about these results, because it's artificial intelligence and it's not a human which wrote that. And Bishra, I'm sorry, but copywriting, I think, in the future will be like, I don't know, dropped. What do you think, guys, about this?
That's why I left copywriting and become an SEO.
Right.
I think copywriting will evolve into content strategy. Being a content strategist, think you will stop writing, but you will just create strategies, because I don't think in the future it will be an AI-based ability to create content strategies. But it's so easy to create formulas for content writing, as you say.
Yeah, definitely. Just look at these descriptions. I just wrote a short description, a random description about lifting workstation, and they find somehow really unique content. By the way, there is no such a content in another website. They just wrote that somehow. I don't know.
Actually, last month I've been into Women in Tech SEO webinars, and there was a case study out of this AI-based content creation, content generation, and there was a really brilliant presentation about it. The person presenting, I cannot remember the name. I'm so sorry right now, but she's just saying that they have more than 30,000 products, and they generated content with the help of Python. And at first they had some problems, but they managed to somehow create really good content with it.
Yeah, definitely. Tools are like a way, the starting way, like start with the starting, right? So I think human touch it's important, but to have an idea what kind of content or context you can write on your page, you can use tools, because it's the easiest way to find ideas, to find what kind of description you can write. And by the way, Copy.ai is not just for product descriptions, and I'm not promote this website that they didn't by this webinar, but I just wanted to recommend, because the best backlinks, it's actually the backlink that users are telling to another persons. So it's free, but at the same time, you give that really in a, I would say, natural way. So that's a natural backlink to the Copy.ai. All right, show the best products you sell, because maybe sometime you just want to buy a product or a gift to a person which you love, but you don't know what to buy, right? So, for example, I entered elephant.md. It's a website in our country, Moldova, and of course I translated this page. It's not in English actually, but when you go through the search bar, I click here and they showed me popular searches. I'm not sure that it's a popular searches or if they have that kind of products, but it's a great way to give some recommendations to your users. For example, maybe I didn't have an idea to buy puzzle, but here is it. They give puzzle recommendation. So that's a great way to make confused users to find a product really quickly. The next one is from Amazon. What's the most searched keywords on your search bar, which they give that actually. And it's like a search engine for e-commerce websites, because when I do keyword research for an e-commerce website, which is English or global website, e-commerce website, I usually use Amazon's website because people using a lot Amazon. They search a lot on Amazon, not on Google, not direct, not from outsource. Of course, outsource is important, but Amazon is directly just like a e-commerce search engine. So what I'm trying to say that if you don't have that kind of thing, you can create that. Or if you don't have actually any searches on your website, if it's a bounty queue e-commerce, then you can make a rule on your e-commerce. You can work with your IT members, IT team, and you can say them like, if I have 40 products for that query, for that term, for example, headphone, then you can give some verses right here, like a long product. If there is a long product title, then give them right here. For example, headphones for iPhone or Sennheiser headphones. So if you have that on your website, just make like something AI, but that works with a rule. When I am writing a headphone, you can recommend me some queries from your products. It's actually autocomplete search. And it's from Carrefour, which is one of our clients. Here, I want to show you that Visuality is one of the best ways to make your users find a product that searched for. For example, here I wrote pen holder, and I'm not just see the text like right here or right here. Here is actually additional images. So to make happen that users will find or the best product they want to see on your website. For example, I want maybe this one because it's red, and I searched for red one, but I didn't write red pen holder. So it's directly right here. So it's actually about user experience. It's not mostly about SEO, but user experience is also a ranking factor, because Google is not looking at how long is your content. Google is looking at what kind of experience did you make much better than your competitor. So maybe it's the one ranking factor. So make sure you're trying to do that on your website. Just test it. I don't say you must do it. Just test it.
So it's my turn, I guess. Thank you for your brilliant tips, Roman. By the way, they're always so good. I'm gonna talk about bounce rates in blog pages because that's my area of expertise, the blogs and their irritating habits. And the first thing is get rid of the problematic pop-ups. Besides from page experience algorithm update, perspective of page experience algorithm update, it's bad for your page speed. But this is an example from a blog I just visited yesterday. I just launched in the blog website the main page, and there was a huge pop-up like this, and there is no pop-up actually. It could not load itself, and it was really disturbing. It happens to me all the time with most of the blogs. And the thing what I'm doing about it, because I don't have any option because it froze all the time, I just bounce back and visit another website, because there are tons of search results about the thing I'm looking for. So I don't have to wait for that to be loaded if I don't have any X thing to just click on. So please do not use this huge pop-ups, or if you have to use them, just use them after we just scroll down or just click on something. Wait for us. And another thing is, please don't force for blog newsletter subscriptions. your visitors are more important than getting a single email address from them to send all of your newsletters, weekly newsletters or monthly newsletters or any other promotions. But I'm not talking about the websites working with a subscription model, because if you're a blog website with only paid subscription model, it's natural to block all of the visitors until some part of a blog page, because they want money. They need money to continue their expenses and find some experts to write about on their blog. So it's like an online journal. But I see this kind of thing on normal websites too, and they just want to increase their newsletter email list with this method, but it's not a good method, because people expect to read and learn something from that blog page, but when they come here and they don't know you, you are just a tiny small star out of a huge galaxy, so they don't know you. Why they should trust you and give you their email addresses? So please do not this too, because it's important. Just you just keep distracting people from getting information. It's bad for user experience. And there are also, Roman, we just saw examples about this. It's not the subscription thing, but there are also this kind of when you enter to a website for the first time, and when you try to deal with the pop-ups after that, you just try to read something, but there is a huge click to read more button. That's also disturbing. I know you are trying to do that to reduce the bounce rate, but in my opinion, it's not a good best practice also. And we just detected with Roman that also Google bots may not discover all of the content on your page when the bots visit that website for the first time, because you are doing that with JavaScript codes. So it's also risky to do it.
The simplest way to find out how Google is crawling your website, what kind of parts of your content is seeing, is just to use URL inspect tool. Use test live URL and then click to the view source. You will see there by searching a term. For example, you want to make sure that Google finds that you implemented correctly your schema.org in that page. So you can search for that in view rendered source via URL inspect tool. It's free and it's very easy to use.
So another case here, when you visit a blog page, if it's not readable, especially on mobile, people will probably bounce back from your website without taking any action on that specific page, because it's so hard to read, just like these newspaper article excerpts. It's so hard to read without short paragraphs or list formats or any other subheading usage. It's so hard to read it, and people don't have so much time to get the information they want. They want to scan it with their eyes. They want to skim your blog article so easily. So you should also improve your readability. Maybe you should enrich your content with a lot of paragraphs. I don't know.
Yeah.
You were going to say something. You were so painful about this.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not painful about that. I am painful because of websites that is using a really horrible font.
Yeah, I know. Actually, it's in my next slide. I didn't want to give any spoilers, but of course, we should enrich our contents. We should use subheadings, visual files. We should use readable fonts with readable colors. In some websites, I don't know why, people just tend to use black backgrounds, but it's so hard to read that blog content. I know some people think that reading content on a black background is easier to read, but a few months ago, I just read a study about it, but I don't know the name of it, but user experience. It was a user experience study, and people tend to read better when the content provided on a bright white screen with a readable font, not like bold black, but just a grayish black thing, kind of color, shade of color.
Mm-hmm.
So you were trying to say something, I guess. I'm so sorry.
No.
So thank you for this content tips, Bishra. And my slides is about like two of them is page speed and one of for e-commerce. And in fact, and as you know, my internet is getting worse, as usual. I hope we won't leave any problem. Okay, is the most important metrics affecting the bounce rate of website is the speed of our website. Actually, as John mentioned about that for local SEO, and like page speed is getting more and more important for SEO. And with feature updates for like May in May, our site speed is now an undeniable fact. You need to optimize it. And actually, this graphic that really I love to use, and the display it for every slide and for like reports for the brand is from Pingdom. Is really great graphic for us. And when you click on a website on the organic site, you will tend to give up as a user when that site doesn't open so fast, because you have lots of another option why you are trying to wait this website, and you can exit from this page because you don't want to wait so much, and you can use another alternatives. So also this is also like quite common in the paid area also, because I hope no. Oh my God. Again.
All right. Adam actually is trying to convince you that page speed, it's important to not use users. Yeah, it's like something when a client comes to you, a potential client comes to you, they ask, why should I invest to your SEO processes? It's because of a lot of things. For example, this one, why should I reduce my page speed score? Or to reduce my page load speed. It's because of this. It's because if you will lose your users, you will lose your potential clients maybe in your website. If you are e-commerce, you will lose some, I don't know, conversions of your form which you included in your page. So every landing page, like Bill Slavsky shared on Twitter, every landing page is a potential for your users.
Actually, this is the visual we use for how to fear your customers and persuade them to have page speed optimization 101.
And one of the first areas we need to optimize while optimizing our page speed is like hero elements, because these elements is really very important for us. For example, for our LCP metric also. And the meeting of these elements with the user, like they are giving them messages like this page is loading. If the customer or if a user saw these photos or these hero elements, it's kind of message for them. This website is loading and they can wait. But if your web page, like their design is not optimized, probably it will be problem for user side. They won't wait for you, and they will give up and exit from your page, and your bounce rate is affected in this way also. So firstly, if we wanna like prevent our bounce rate, we need to optimize firstly our hero elements. And like most of e-commerce website, like big e-commerce website have this structure, but still smaller e-commerce sites doesn't have this. And if you have nothing for more to offer a user, like probably the user won't find anything on your page, and probably they will exit your page. But if you put this notify me button, if this product will be renewed, we can activate this notify me button, and probably users will use this button here. But if this product is not going to be in stock again, we need to redirect to another, like maybe, there's I think that's a Australian e-commerce website. They are selling a T-shirt here. You can redirect this page to this T-shirt category, so related category pages. So users can find something there, and they can search another T-shirts, maybe more another color different. But another point here is also, like, if you are redirect your users less relevant pages. For example, lots of software developer, they are they are redirecting their pages to homepage because it's the more easy. You don't need to spend time. Just redirect your users to the homepage if this product is not in stock, or your for error pages. So, but we need to redirect our users to related pages. But if we are redirecting to less relevant pages, probably user won't find again their product or their blog post, etc., and they will exit, and your bounce rate will increase here.
All right, that's your last slide, right?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Adam, to you too, and to all of you, John, especially for you, to coming here with us, because it's really something special for us. And thank you very much. I know it's early in the morning there, and I'm sorry again about this situation, because I'm in Europe, and my colleagues are too in Turkey. So here is evening, but that's it. Thank you very much for being with us. And if there is anyone that wants to ask something to John, go through his link, Twitter, which we will share in the description section also. And if you have any question for our next live streams, you can use that link. We also will include the deck after this live stream. And to make sure you want us to notify you about these live streams when they come, you can use our landing page on boostros.com. Weekly SEO live stream, I think. Go through just boostros.com, and you can subscribe there on the form. So thanks again. And John, thank you very much again. Your microphone is mute. You are mute.
Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it. I learned a lot from you guys as well.
Great. Okay, have a great weekend to all of you, and take care.